We are joined by a special guest right now, Peter Bailey, releasing the highly anticipated trailer for Paradise Discovered, the Unbreakable Virgin Islanders 2.0, celebrating, of course, the resilience of those in the Caribbean who weathered both hurricanes, Irma and Hurricane Maria. Peter, what a treat to talk with you. And I will say, I did get to see the trailer. I've not seen the full documentary, but
That's great. Yeah.
you know what, a couple seconds in and you really drew me in. So talk to me about why you took this on.
I've been a journalist for many years. So I've been coming back home a lot, working with youth and whatnot. And when Hurricanes Irma and Maria hit, um, I was here and it changed everyone's lives. But being a journalist, I was angry, and in life you could turn rage and anger into a dark path or it can inspire you. So basically, I took it upon myself to do what journalists do, shed lights on stories that we think are impactful. It just so happened that this story was me and my people and my family and my those who are close to me. So I tell people all the time that it might sound, this new age, but it's my purpose. I really feel I've tapped into what I was born on this planet to do. And it's been a hell of a ride. We produced the first film and it was all based at a rooster, so we're in the Caribbean. So basically the first film, it's all based on my New York Times op-ed, Has America Forgotten the Virgin Islands, which I wrote actually right before Maria hit. So while penning that, it was probably the purest thing I've ever written, having written for different publications. So it's really, first it was us letting the world know, like, look, this is who we are. And we're just more than some people in a vacation spot. Because what has happened in this region, people identify us as a postcard, right? We're a caricature. So it tends to, when you think about the Caribbean, not only the Virgin Islands, people don't really see the people. They think of a beach. I wanted with this series for the first time in contemporary modern history to introduce the larger world to us as a people beyond our physical beauty and attributes. And it's been life changing.
Peter, how did you make sure through the process that you were telling the story of all Virgin Islanders and not just of you?
Yeah, it's interesting because as a trained journalist, the thing is, you are not the story. You are not the story, right? But since
Right.
I was in these storms, I am the story. So if you think about it, I'm just a vessel because at the end of the day, all of us in this region face the same storms. We may have different personality traits, but at the end of the day, we're all woven around this common thread of facing what Congress has deemed the worst natural disaster in modern American history at the time. So we're all facing that common thread. So with the film, I named it Unbreakable because when you think of us, I want that to be woven in your spirit. These are the people that stood up to what historians call the worst tragedy up until that point. So yeah, the film is definitely us. I want us to understand the film is our story,
Mm.
collective, basically.
How do you feel about the end result? Do you think you were able to tell that whole story?
As a writer, as a creator, as a storyteller, you will never tell everything, right? But you start the train, right? You start the train. So in a larger vision, I think it's time for Caribbean cinema, Caribbean storytelling to be told in our authentic voice. I think the world has seen Hollywood, Bollywood, Nollywood. Now it's I think they're calling it Carrywood. It's time for Caribbean film because I think the films have definitely opened the door because I screened in Trinidad, I screened in Grenada, and what I'm seeing is the film is actually connecting the region because all of us in this region share a commonality of stories, and the commonality is collectively we don't feel as a people the larger world really understands us.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, it sounds like your voice must be heard by somebody because this is an award winner.
Yeah. It's a blessing. The first Unbreakable film, actually won an award in Toronto, and this one now has won in Grenada. So it's amazing. It's very fulfilling.
Okay. So you brought up the first one, and this one's 2.0. What can we expect next?
Um, it was funny because at the screening, someone said, "Hey, I'm ready for part three." So Paradise Discovered that is actually three films. The first film was about Anguilla. And the last
Ah,
two films is about the Virgin Islands. So what we can expect next, the first Unbreakable film was kind of highlighting our resilience. This 2.0 film, it's saying, okay, it's taking a step back to who we are historically, but then where are we going? Because if you notice, the whole world is in a rapid modernization. So
mhm.
how do we maintain our culture and traditions of who we are, but still have to progress? The third film, it's actually it's going to be focused on the youth. I can't give it up yet, but I really think I don't think I know the future is in the kids. You know, they're on the gadgets, they're on the tech space, and I think it's their time to say what they have to say to the region. Yeah.
Is it a long wait till we see this?
Next year,
Okay.
yeah, but I stay working. I stay working because it heals my soul. Because these films are also it's therapy for me. We lost a lot in those storms. I lost high school friends. We lost people. We didn't only lose land and property. We've lost our lives.
Yeah.
So I stay working because the films are therapeutic for me. It's really how I heal, basically.
Well, we appreciate your storytelling and taking time to speak with us today. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am. I appreciate you guys. You guys have covered this from the beginning when we had the first screening Hanson Thomas in 2018 after my father passed. So I really appreciate you guys.
You got it. Thank you for joining